Okay, welcome everyone to Table Moments Live beat making session, or instrumentals, I think is a better description, because I use these in the promo for a lot of the podcast promos I do for Instagram and whatever. So, multifaceted guy, and I like making beats. Here's one I'm actually about to finish up, just so you can get a taste of my style. I'll let you listen to that for a bit. Yeah, so I've been fucking with that. It's hard to describe. It's like EDM maybe, but not as like repetitious as EDM. There's highs and lows, and it goes through this like, I think I'm gonna make like a video on it about the feeling, the wave of feeling that you go through. It's like if I plotted it like feeling or time on the x-axis and feeling on the y-axis, then I could actually graph like the feeling that I get during all this. And then obviously I end with a high. So it starts off like slowly ramps, and then you get all this like, it's like a river kind of thing. And then slowly, and then at the end, big drop with the feeling. So that's sort of my style. A mix of random loops and some small keyboard elements here in the grain. And I'm going to build a beat today. I don't know what it's going to be. I usually don't have a plan. I know I've seen like a lot of other artists and producers like have a plan, or maybe I think they have a plan. I'm not even sure, but I really just find loops that I like, and I'm like, ooh, let me try to build something around that. So like I go all over the place too. I'm not consistent. So maybe the one I make today is going to be similar to this, but maybe it might go in an entirely different direction with like R&B or hip hop. I've done country too. So that's what we're going to do. So let's close this project here. Save that. There's still some minor things I still got to do to make that work. Let's go. Here's the new one. So some things I got to finish up on. The one you just heard is I got to mix it. So I'm making sure the levels are right for all the different loops that I'm playing. Also, gotta fix some of the transitions. They're not as clean. Maybe like some fade ins and fade outs. And then there's also some gaps where there's like something missing. And you can hear it when between loops there's abruptness. And I think it's a lot like with like making clips and content too. You need it to flow properly. And that's something I still struggle with videos, like the stuff I post on this YouTube channel. But that's I'm still working on it. I'm still learning, but I've seen my progression over time as I've made these things, and they are getting better for sure. So let's start. So usually I just start with something basic, empty workspace. This is Logic Pro for those of you who are unfamiliar. I've gone through a lot of these Apple loops, and that's basically most of the composition. I don't like to describe it as making music. I think of it more as composing music, because most of the things, the elements in the song, are not things I actually organically produced. They're just these loops, these Apple loops that I I just choose from. And part of the process is actually going through these loops and finding sounds that I like. My theory is if it sounds good on its own, it's going to sound good in a composition, as long as you get the keys right. As long as, so the notes have to match too. So there's this idea in music theory, like you have 12 notes, 8 full notes, 4 half notes or something. I could get this wrong, I don't know. But basically that's what you see here, the letters on the side. You have the C, D, E. These are the keys for the loops. And by making sure you match the keys, or at least, and then each key has like a number of other notes that fit into that key. Now, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I can hear it. So when I play these on top of another loop, you could tell if it sounds bad, it doesn't fit. And maybe sometimes there's only parts of that loop that actually fit. And so that's when you can just take pieces of it off, and then you'll see all that, what I'm doing here. So part of the first process is like finding a bunch of loops. And what I end up doing is just harding them. So these are the ones I've gone through. I've gone through a lot of the loops here and found the ones that sound good to me alone. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I might use that one day. And so that's why I have all these, like, here's some examples of these. Like you could do, this one I use a lot. That's a good one. Obviously, I've been liking the international kind of stuff, and I try to incorporate it. I also like a lot of some guitar stuff in there. I like the electronic stuff. It's actually pretty, I like them a lot. So that's why you can hear, like on the last one, it was a lot of those things. And so yeah, so I just try to find something. I've never done this live before. Usually just like me just going through this, I'm like, ooh, that sounds interesting. Let me fuck with it a little bit. And then you also got to figure out like, what's the tempo going to be? But usually I don't think about it too much. Just like whatever sounds good, I stick with. So like this is. That's cool too. I like that. This is a really good one. I've used it on one thing that I haven't published yet. I've used this a couple times actually. Another thing I've noticed about myself is there's certain things I'll use repeatedly, but in a different song, they sound completely different. And so like you can reuse these things. And so there's certain things I just go with all the time. Let's see, double beat. That's kind of cool. I've used this a lot too. I think this. Ooh. That sounds dope, but I like it faster though. So let's put that. And that's the thing. Like when I'm doing this, I might start off with something and then go in an entirely different direction and not even use the original thing. And I just let the feeling happen. And this is where I think where artists really talk about how they just channel. They didn't actually create anything. They just channeled energy, or like God spoke to them or something. This is what they mean. It's just like there's no direction. It's just letting things happen, and then it just whatever. So let's up the tempo. Okay, so we know that's an A minor. So I like to put it here so that I can reference it. So I changed the name and just put A minor. So I know that pretty much any A minor loop is probably going to fit in this too. And the cool thing about Logic Pro, it actually matches the tempos of these loops as you. So now that I have for the project, it's at 120. Anything I play in here while just going through it is going to be played at that. And then I could just click here to loop through this. So it'll just loop and then just find another A minor and see if they match. It's not 100%, but typically. You see, they match. It's like, oh shit, they fit. See, here's another one. See, that's where it didn't actually fit. I mean, it sounds off. They're technically the same key, but it just doesn't fit. Ooh. Oh, I'm digging this one. Ooh, that's fire. Let's throw that in there. Sometimes I like to let's see what other ones do. So I'll just put that here and mute it, and then continue seeing what other ones we have here. This kind of guitar sound is good for like a transition, like when you're going into one loop into another. That would work. That's cool too. You see how they all just fit together? Okay, so I'm also thinking I might actually add sort of fits. I'm not sure if they're in the same key, this B minor in the A minor key, but it sort of fits. And so I think I could like mess around with that and add that, because I've been thinking about using this. It sounds like a familiar thing that's been used in a song before, but I think I might use something like that. Or I might just use that part. Ooh, let's experiment with that. Let's pull that in there. And if we cut off the first part, let's see how that sounds. it's actually looping the whole thing. So I want to use the whole bar. I also like to experiment, like what if I like offset them? Yeah, let's just stick with this for now. So I usually just start with one sound at the beginning. That's the beginning. So it's like a gradual increase in like adding things. So obviously you can hear it just jumps in real quick. So I'll add a little fade in there, at least in the beginning. Now it should sound better. Now we're just adding a drum line here, which I think is, so you see here Velvet Rope. So there are groups of loops that, at least in Apple loops, are considered to be together, and they all typically, they're made together. So that's why like you can even combine those things. So like I have the Velvet Rope harp. I can also use the Velvet Rope beat, and they sort of match the same vibe. And then I do, obviously I'm going to need some transition to this electronic heavy stuff, but so just to make sure I have everything here proper, I think this was B minor, just so when I'm referencing things later. And another thing I could do is let's do melodic anthem. That's the A minor one. A minor, and then I can just see what other sounds come in that group. So if I do Velvet Rope, so we have if I actually do, see, that's melodic synth, but I only use half of it after. I wonder if that will work. Yeah. All right, I'm digging it. You see, it's all just like experimenting. And so I actually cut this in half and just use the tail end of that, and it actually works really well. So let's listen to it so far while I take a sip. pretty sick, right? And so I'm already feeling it. This is feeling pretty good. Obviously, there's a lot of things I got to fix. There's going to be transitions. I usually add the transitions later. I just want to get the basic of it done. And then I also like to keep track of time. So right now we're at about 39 seconds. And usually my beats so far have been around 2:10, 2:30. 2 minutes, 10 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Around 2.5 minutes is what I'm shooting for. And then let's see if any of these other ones work. Ooh, basses are always nice to add that you don't think would make a big deal is even just hearing it right now, but it does add that feeling and bigness to a song. So let's see what happens if we add that. We'll add that there. We'll also do it here, but bring it in halfway. It's all just like smoothing the experience is what I'm realizing. Like a lot of this music is just like, all right, it's just adding, and then it swells, and then it contracts, and then you just like this back and forth thing. And then in the end, I want it to like crescendo to this big thing. And that's where I'll talk about like orchestral strings really add that big feeling to it. But I can't believe I'm talking like I know this shit. It's like literally this is just experimentation. And I like those, so I'm just gonna put that as a favorite. We're gonna wait for the leads there. Some guitar would be really nice right now where it's like that would be really cool. Let's see, do I have any? No. Do I have any other? I wonder how this would sound. I use this one a lot too. You know what, let's go to some electronic guitar would be really cool. And here they group it by instrument, by genre, by descriptors. I almost never use descriptors. All my beats have been like more energetic stuff. I'm not really a fan of the mellow stuff. Every now and then I'll do it, but let's see. So we have some normal something like that would be dope. I already have a guitar here with the 405, which might be the name of the song. Like, that's how I decide the name of the songs. I find one of the loops that sort of describe, not even describe, it's just like, oh, that sounds like a cool name. And it fits kind of the vibe. So I might call this 405. Let's see if there's other. Oh no, I got electric guitar still selected. Ooh, that'd be interesting. What if we did like some international, like world stuff? Do I have anything here? That'd be interesting. Ooh. Oh. Let's see if that fits. That might work. What if, all right, so this sounds interesting. I don't know if it'll fit, if D minor fits in that, but it's kind of low, so I'll transpose it one octave higher, so we'll be able to hear it. The first part of it works, the second part of it doesn't. No, it's... So the first part of it works. I wonder if I could just take that. If I do that. No, the end of it. No, there's a note in there that's wrong. It's not gonna work. Let's see. Ooh, interesting. And I don't like to use, I used to have just like one loop that would be there the whole song, and then I try to do like a mix it up every now and then. So I think this is going to be switch the guitar out. Let's start with the guitar first. Let's put that there. Actually, I probably want to bring it in early, and then and we got that. See if there's a part of this we can use. Ooh, if we do that, and just do that, and then maybe put that there. Doesn't fit. Let's try, let's see. All right, so we have a replacement for the guitar. Maybe I need to include another like melodic instrumental kind of thing, but let's see what we got so far. There's a lot of this like repeating, playing. can't believe I was talking this whole time and I had my mic muted. I'm still learning. So this is where I normally add some sort of beat. So let's see if we can find something here. What would be interesting? Do I want to go hip hop or electronic? Let's go electronic. Always default to electronic. Do I have anything here? Or whoa, fucking slaps. It already has a riser in there, so that's nice. Too fast. I've used that one and another one. I'm not going to use that one again. Ooh. That over a little bit. All right, I think that's good. Let's cut off the rest. And let's find, this is where I just like reintroduce stuff from the beginning. So actually, no, I think I gotta like add something else first before I continue. No, you know what? Let's put that and see how that goes. Or if I do that. Needs a riser. Something like that. some drums. These need obviously they need to slap harder, so let's up the volume of those a little bit. Starting including this other stuff back in there, so it's like a build up, and we're at 146. Might be a little early, but I think we'll target around 2 minutes for this one. So let's probably put it in there. So this one, it's the Velvet Rotate. Now let's go the harp. Put it in there. You can see it's all just like trying a bunch of shit, seeing if it works. What I need to do here is add the breathing strings. I think that would make it a smoother transition. And then I'll bring this actually here too. Let's do that first. Do I want them here? Do the breathing strings right now, see if that'll work. Do it higher. And then if we do, I think this is where I gotta like bring in some other shit. You know, I make it sound like I know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't. Literally just fucking around and seeing what happens. I really like these. Let's put, nope. Ooh. All right, let's loop this. You see that? As long as you find the notes in there, then you could just like literally just randomly pressing these buttons as long as I stick with it. And then I'll usually like drop it in like somewhere here. So by the end of it, yeah, we'll have like about a 2-minute beat here, which is cool. It's good enough, I think. So let's record it. Sometimes the accidents actually make things sound better, weirdly enough. So now I'm just gonna start fucking around with the notes to see what'll work and what won't. So let's see. So that's a little early. Let's fix that. Nope. I think I'm gonna have to zoom in here a little bit. It's a little early. Okay. Let's extend that a little bit. Ooh, see, that sounds pretty good. And then I might just stop it early. That I don't think needs to be there. Take that out too. See, I think a big important part of music is even the gaps that you leave. The gaps are just as important as where you hear sound. It's like, and I'm just learning it as I make more and more of these. Let's see if I actually needed that. I think I just want to play it once. I think that's the wrong key. No, it's right key. I think there's something that needs to be here. So this is... I missed one here. You see, it's just feeling it. It's like, does it sound right? And then just make your adjustments. This, I think, needs to be there. I must end that there. Okay, so that's basically the basic beat. Now there's a lot of other work that needs to be done. Gotta fix some of the transitions, which maybe I'll just do in another video. But I mean, you can get the basic idea here. And we're at 209. I gotta figure out what would be a good end to this. Obviously, maybe even ending the beat drop there. Actually, what if we just let everything end where it's supposed to? And ascension beat. Okay, and I'll just do one playthrough and then we'll call it a stream. But there's other things I gotta do. I gotta fix some of the transitions. It's not quite there yet, but at least it's the basic scaffolding for this. And like the skeleton, the walls are up. Think of it like if it's a house, you're like 80% done. You got the walls up, the drywall's up. You got light fixtures in, all that, but you still got to paint the house. You still got to add some of the trimmings and all that. So all those minor things I still got to do. And then finally at the end of it, I got to do the mix, which I'll do later, but here's a playthrough of it one last time and then I'll end the stream. And if you watch this, let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I'll try to do one song a week and maybe, yeah. And then I add it to as the promo videos that I do for this podcast. So this is where they come from. It's the music I make using just Logic Pro loops. All right, here it is. Let me fix that real quick. That came in there too quick. While I'm here, let me just fix it. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Ooh, what if I just did just some of it and just like that section here and I put it there? I can fuck with it forever. So you know what? I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then I'll fix it later. Okay, last playthrough. it. Obviously, it's still rough. There's other things I got to change, but this is the nature of it. This is how I do it. And I'm always willing to learn. If you guys know more, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll just post this as a YouTube video too, so you got a chance to watch some longer form content from this channel. But otherwise, it's been fun. Thank you for watching if you end up watching this. Bye.